All right, all right, all right. What is up, everybody? I am really excited to be the host tonight to speak to authors Joanna Crowder and Keith Crowder on their exciting book launch of Summer Love. What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
What's up? I'm so excited.
I'm excited as well. I am excited as well. And I know everybody out there is super excited. We're going to wait for some people to jump on before we get going. But how y'all feeling? I mean, this is the big day. This is kind of like, kind of like the, I don't know, prom or, wedding day or,
It's like
or I should say,
day.
it's kind of like having a baby, right? Kind of the same type of thing, right? Same situation.
Super excited.
Oh, shut that down. That was me. What's up?
Like,
what's
oh,
up?
is it me? What's up, everybody? What's up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, thank you guys for being here. Like everybody who's starting to come in, it's like, thank you for taking the time, the energy, the excitement that you're bringing to this live, because we can feel it. Man, I just can't. I mean, really, you start to feel how grateful it is. No more babies, no.
No more babies.
No, that's no. The babies we're gonna be having are books, yes.
True.
But yeah, I'm so grateful for all of you for showing up, for being here, because this is a huge moment. It is a culmination of everything that we've been through, and many of you have been through a lot of it. And a lot of you haven't. So I'm just excited to see, there's all realms of those that have been there and those that are new. Welcome.
For sure. And everybody out there, we have pinned the link to the Amazon to buy the book off of Amazon. So now's the day. Like, it's released. Let's go. Today's release day. Let's buy the book. And I will tell you firsthand that this book is absolutely amazing. I really can't wait to get into a lot of it with them and kind of share at least some of my emotions and excitement from reading this book as well. So everybody out there, prepare, because it's going to be fun tonight. Let's see here. We got comments coming in already. People, all right. I like this.
Yeah, make sure you guys comment when you come in so we know you're here, so that we can put you into, babe, you want to do that part? I'm going to put it in there. So we can put your name in the wheel so that you can be entered into all the giveaways that we're doing tonight.
Yes.
So make sure that you write a comment so that we know you're here. And I'm going to erase these. You want to start with Carol? What's up, Carol? Thank you. She said, you two look amazing.
We're doing that now?
Well, I mean, as we go, I just want to make sure that, I don't want to miss out on people.
So how are we doing it? Okay, so when they comment, that's when we're going to do do you want me to share the screen for you?
No, not now. Now. I didn't know when we were going to do a giveaway. Like, we'll do one later, but
we'll let some people jump on.
Yeah. I just wanted to, as they were rolling in commenting, to go ahead and put their names on there. So it's not that much hard work. Yes.
Perfect. And also, if you buy the book off the pinned comment, let us know. Let us know that you purchased it, so we can celebrate everything. We appreciate every one of you all who help support this amazing book. And for me, I'm gonna start it off with just talking about my experience with it. I had the pleasure of reading the pre-release version, and I didn't know exactly what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I love Spring Manifestation. I did a podcast with Joanna shortly after she released that one, and going into this one, I had a lot of questions, a lot of questions about the background. And those questions were answered. And it just took me on a ride that I think everybody needs to go on, because look, relationships are something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we've all had ups, we've all had downs, we've all been in situations, and to see what transpires throughout this book, how it's handled with the growth aspect, with the spiritual aspect, with the love aspect. It was just beautiful to see this entire thing come to fruition. And we're gonna get into all that. But that was my little personal testimony about the book. I highly recommend it. I think it's gonna do amazing things. But here we go. Hi, Keith and Joanna. I purchased the book yesterday. It'll be here tomorrow. Beautiful, beautiful.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I got some questions. So, and that's what this book launch is going to be about. So people can get some insight on what we're talking about here. Summer love. And I don't know, Joanna or Keith, give a summary of the book real quick. You know, what would you say the book's about?
That's you.
Okay, so I wanted to, no, it's
Professional.
cool. I just want to make sure I had some of these names up here, but I'll get to that. So, I mean, do you want me to read that's not it. Where's the latest? There's like so many. Do you want to read what the back of it is or what the description says?
Sure.
Okay, let me pull it up because that would be easier. All right, so this is a journey of self-realization in love. But first, we must understand everything in between. So written by Joanna Crowder with reflections by Keith Crowder. So each chapter is based on the astrological influences of each sign and how cycles in nature affect our relationships. A true love story has many ups and downs, but most of all, it's authentic, inspiring, and moves you down to the core. Join in on this roller coaster ride and witness the influential energies of each celestial sign, how they impact our lives, and how to overcome darkness with light. We bring you stories within each season, take you on a journey through time, share our adversities and lessons learned to help you see the signs in your own life. So it's basically about overcoming and showing that nothing is impossible and that there is darkness within. I think it's about, if people expect love or unconditional love, you have to expect pain. And most people try to avoid pain because that's what our ego does, is it rejects the pain. So it's just a battle of, you know, pain and love and embracing all of it. Does that sum it all up?
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Beautifully said. Yeah, really. Now, with you guys being like extremely transparent in this book, and I think everybody needs to realize this, like there's no holding back in this book. You guys pretty much tell everything in pretty intricate detail. Well, you know, there's always some stuff. Hey, you gotta say stuff for the sequel, brother. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I want to start off by asking, like, and I'm gonna start with Joanna first. How did it affect you emotionally writing this and kind of reliving everything that transpired in y'all's love story?
So because let me back up, because so Spring Manifestation, for those that don't know, I wrote it in a journey format, in a journal format. Did I say journey? I meant diary, and then I said journey. In a diary format, meaning that I was actually writing what was going on in my life throughout the entire book and my thought process, etc. So I incorporated kind of that diary aspect by bringing out all my diaries that I had since I was 10. I don't know when that was. And I had to go back and reread all of my diaries from the moment I started writing to where I was. And things that I had forgotten, things that I had pushed away, the good, the bad, you know, we always go to our diaries to vent. And I felt like, or when something good happened. So there was never, you know, I'm not gonna say never the in-between parts, but you'll see a lot of the heavy downs and the ups. And so I had to read it and go through these ups and downs myself. And then basically just go, okay, this is my timeline, because I was really basing the timeline off my diaries. And that kind of kept me in check. But then I also had to flow it with the astrological aspects of each chapter, because each chapter is based on an astrological sign. So we do have a total of 12 chapters from Aries to Pisces. And I had to fit in our timeline of basically from the first diary entry of 1995 to the last one of when, now. And fit that into a 12 chapter book with the signs that go with it.
And let me just say, if you've never been approached with a diary entry as a mode of defense, not in the sense that she's trying to prove something, but you have conversations, you're like, no, I went down like this, no, I went down like this. And we very much argue based on facts, right? In terms of, no, this is
The
how
little
it went down.
details.
So it was humbling her reading that diary, because I can't argue. You can't argue with that. I have no, you know what I mean? Like, so it was very humbling in that regard for me. Reading those diary entries, and I'll get into that because I'm sure you're
no, but it was like a perspective like shift to read them again and then have to put them into writing, and then also in our podcast talk about what I had just written. So there was many layers of it, of this therapeutic way of healing throughout this entire process of writing this book, at least for me. So I know for you it has.
So it was therapy. Okay, that's good. I mean, did you ever find yourself like taking yourself back to that moment and feeling those exact emotions again?
Oh, yes. I mean, there was many times I cried, like many times, just from reading it and feeling things that I had suppressed, or that I even wrote about it, but that I hadn't really dealt with, but not to them. There was a part in there where I talked about how I had no other choice but to keep going because I couldn't handle the pain. I'm gonna get emotional just think about it. And that I had to slowly die and then like get back out there and do my thing. And so when we do that, it's like we're just pushing it down. So when I started reading that again, I really let myself, this time that I'm now have more wisdom, I really let myself feel everything that I didn't feel before when I wrote it in my diary. So I really let it out. I really did have times where I was in the shower and I'm like in tears, and he knew it, she's going through it, or he was going through it. And yes, it was very emotional, but here we are.
But to me, that's what made it, like, that emotion the reader connects with. Like we can feel it through the pages. And I'm testament to that. Like, seriously. I mean, I read, like I said, I told you guys, I read the book in one sitting, because I was just locked in. It was like a movie for me. I mean, I had to see what happened. It just keeps you going every chapter. Shout out, we got a couple people that Larry Moore purchased the book. Appreciate it. That's what's
Thank
up.
you
What's
so
up?
much.
And Zuhei Ortiz says they're going to order it as soon as the Zoom is over. So we appreciate that.
Nice.
And Tanya said, Keith, get closer to the mic.
I got you. We all know that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, moving on to you, Keith, because you're Mr. Reflections throughout this book. And I gotta ask you, man, like reading, because you're reflecting off what she's writing. So she's taking you on her personal journey, and you're getting all these intricate details about how she was feeling in those moments, diary entries, all that. So it's taking you back through some tough times to where, like, you even admitted you're not proud of, right? So how was that? How was that for you to be taken back to those moments, and not only that, have to respond to them in book format?
Yeah, and I rejected it at first. I mean, when she said, "Yeah, we're writing a book together," I mean, okay, but you kind of kick that can down the road. Like, I'll deal with that bridge when I get there, right? It's kind of my response, or that's how I felt on the inside. I don't know if I communicated that.
I felt it.
But and then it got to that point where it's like, okay, you gotta start moving because the clock's ticking, right? Like we have a date today, right? Yeah. And when the beginning was easy because that's kind of what started it, at least for me, in terms of, the issues that started to compound in our relationship from the beginning. And then it got into my shit, right? And not only, and you're gonna make me, I know I'm gonna lose it, because I can't, like, I can't just keep it in, man, because
It's okay.
it's just powerful, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm going through this, and I'm reading her writing, and I'm going back to that moment in time. And you got to understand, like, I'm looking at this from what I understand to be a higher perspective, because I'm not the person I was that, nowhere near it. Like, I'm like, and I'm reading about this dude down here,
Yeah.
right? But that's me still, right? And so for me, the hardest part was, like, I was an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I did not realize how condescending I was. I didn't realize, like, all the little things that, we justify as men. And I'm not, what's the word? Is it when you discriminate women? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm not sexist. That's not
Right.
me. But in a relationship context, somehow, the resentment that I couldn't deal with and I couldn't hold on, which was really just my own insecurities, right? At the end of the day, like, I projected that onto her in these just like little ways, and it was never anything big. It was almost like death by a thousand cuts, right?
Yeah.
Right. And eventually she died. You know what I mean? Like, eventually she gave up. She got, I'm done. Like, I'm bleeding out, and having to, oh shit,
Your time, brother.
like, just knowing that you put the woman that you love, like, I've always loved her from day one, like just the depths of me, but not knowing how to handle her, because she's a handful, man. Like, she's a fucking handful. Consuelo, I know, we know, people that know, man, she's a handful, but she's a beautiful handful, right? And I like a challenge, and just knowing that you put her through that, and she was never, like, loyal as fuck, man. Like, when you read the book, you can be like, damn,
Did
like,
you
to
say
me,
she was never loyal as fuck?
no, you are loyal as fuck, right? And throughout it all, she even still, like, I picture, like the lion and Lion King, right, standing on the, the woman version, and she's
Right.
just powerful and strong. Like, she was still royal in the way that she did things, and I know that makes no fucking sense. You got to read the book to make sense of it, but I did that. You know what I mean? And that, at the end of the day, and I may be jumping ahead, just telling me to chill, because I'm let me get this out. At the end of the day,
Got me crying and shit.
like, at the end of the day, I had, we all have to repent. It's universal law. That's what I believe. And when we put out bad karma, it comes back to you, and it came back to me, and it came back to me in such a way that I'm here, right? We're here, and I don't think very many couples, very many people can get through it, but we did. And and I know we did, because we, at the end of the day, we love each other, and there's something bigger, you know what I mean, that we're trying to do, and it's not about us, and that's not to say that, our love is diminished, but yeah, man, coming to grips with that, and just knowing that you're the one that really pushed this to this point, because of your stubborn, and because you couldn't learn. It's humbling, and it was very humbling to write, and to go through that experience, and to relive it, and to have to forgive myself for it, because I realized I hadn't.
Wow. There's some really good comments coming in too, but I want to tell you guys, like, yesterday when I told you guys how I felt about the book, and I said that I don't know if you guys even understand how powerful this story is. This book truly is, and you really spoke to it right there, man. Most people can't make it to this point, y'all. And at the same time, for what you two are doing with QE Academy, and the message, and the light that you guys are shining, you guys wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't go through that. And that's what makes you guys unique, is that most couples, they wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have made it here. So they wouldn't be able to be on that platform. They won't be able to speak upon what you guys can speak upon. And that's what makes this book so motherfucking powerful. And
And it's a little bit different too, because we don't have that, like, other books have that whole, like, what's the happily ever after part, right? Like, you
right.
obviously know, like, we're together. So But you said if other people don't know us, you know, maybe
Right.
it's the fact that it takes you through the ups and downs.
And the point is
Correct.
that at some point, like we, you know, if we had watched this at some point in our relationship, it may have changed the trajectory, right? Period. And my point is that, yeah, you know, maybe not a lot of couples have been through it, but you know what, if there's a couple watching this that gets inspired, and it inspires them to fight through it because somebody else did it, right? It's like nobody thought anybody could run a sub 4-minute mile or whatever it was, right? But then somebody did it, and once they did it, the next guy did it, and then it just kept getting better and better and
Yep.
better. So the point is that, you know, if
Learn from our mistakes.
yeah, man, I mean, just know that like it gets bad, and when it gets bad, like it's not the end, you know, it's just not. But when it gets bad, you know, the lesson is that you got to look in the fucking mirror. You know, you got to do work. You have to fix your own shit, and nobody can do that but you. And that's the point when magic happens, you know. And I don't know if that's by design or if we, you know, choose our way through it because we just know we need it. But it's the truth, man. I mean, that's what I believe anyway.
Darko asked if there's going to be is there going to be an offering of a signed copy of this book?
Yes, that's part of one of the giveaways, right?
That is one of the giveaways. Well, let's do a giveaway. You want to do a
Let's
giveaway?
do a giveaway. Yeah, let's do a giveaway.
Perfect time to do a giveaway.
But what do you have the giveaway post that says what the giveaways are so we can go in order?
I don't. I mean, I have it written down, but I don't have a post.
It's in here.
I think the first one was a free month of QE, I believe.
All right, let me pull it up real quick.
Read some of this stuff. Carol says you guys lived it though. So actually, I take that back. Reading some parts were tough reading. The beginning for Joanna and the later chapters for Keith. Nicole Pett says, I admire you both so much for being so vulnerable and revisiting these diaries to share the lessons with us all. Most would just burn them and never speak about it again. I haven't even read it yet, but I know it will be truly transformational. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Michelle says you guys are awesome. You guys are love warriors. Tanya says you guys are a perfect example of love and perseverance. Michelle says you two are creating ripples. And Tanya says absolutely, and so happy to be a part of your journey at QE.
Yay, thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
First freaking question on Keith, and he's already in tears. I love it.
It is what it is.
I know, I love it. So the first one is free month of QE Academy. And that applies to even those that are in the academy. I mean, you basically end up getting a free month. So let me add, so what are we doing? Are we adding
we got 17 people watching right now. So if you want to win a free month of QE Academy, we need you to comment right now. There's a little bit of a delay, so
yeah,
we'll give that.
So I'm gonna state the people I have so far, and if I haven't called your name and you're watching, please comment. So I have Carol, Michelle, Nicole, Tanya, Heather, Consuelo, Amanda, Darko. Who am I missing?
Mel just jumped on. Iron Shaman is also on. I saw him. Nicole.
I got Nicole.
Okay. Heather just said sure, but you already have her.
Larry.
See anybody else? Zuhi Ortiz.
Oh, Zue. Yeah.
Zue. There we go.
Well, I mean, I just said it that way, but
no, you have
Faith.
Nice.
Miriam. Amanda Truitt.
Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm typing with like way over there, go gadget arms, and he's like, and I'm like, nails, one-handed.
Remy San Louis III.
Got it.
Christine Morrison.
Do I have her up there? Mm-hmm. No, okay.
I thought I saw. Oh, Ryan Malpica.
Okay.
It's like a commercial break.
Commercial.
Yeah, right? She has some, you need some elevator music or something.
Okay. Oh, Wade, what's up, Wade? Thank you. we're doing a giveaway right now. So everybody who comments is in on the giveaway.
Let's do
All
it.
right, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, Kyle
So
Swiss as well.
Kyle, okay. And then
What's up, guys?
Shout out.
okay. So can I share my screen? Is that okay? Or
Yeah, of course you can. Of course, it'd be nice if I gave you permission, right?
permission, please.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
What's this? The free.
Free month of QE Academy.
Uh-oh, prepare to be transformed.
It's Kyle.
Of course it
Of
is.
course.
Of course it is.
He's been wanting to win Spring Manifestation and then he gets QE Academy. That's
what's
hilarious.
up. Congrats.
Congratulations. The next giveaway that we are doing is going to be the free month of Akasha Flicks.
Holla,
Nice.
holla, holla.
We're also doing a free reading. And then the last giveaway is a free autograph book and 30-minute consults with me and Keith. So let me go back to stop sharing.
Awesome.
Okay.
Congrats, Keith. Looking forward to seeing you in the QE Academy.
Oh, you mean Kyle?
Kyle,
Did I say
yeah.
Keith? Damn it,
Yeah.
Kyle.
Nah, I appreciate that though. You don't even know. We'll talk about that after the show.
Right.
Oh, hilarious. Let's move on.
Let's
You
keep
should.
it moving. Let's keep it moving.
Let's move on.
Okay, so like, yeah, the reason I asked that question is to really set the table, and really get an idea of how you guys felt writing this, because that's the first thing I thought of when I was reading it. I was like, man, what did they go through when they actually wrote this book? Like the emotions, the conjuring up the feelings, all that stuff. But there's some more detailed stuff that I want to talk about in the movie.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you,
I swear,
Nick, I
this
keep
is
saying
everybody
it.
says the movie.
Yes, it's like
It's a
fucking
movie.
for sure.
Oh my
For
God.
sure. So I'm reading the book at the beginning, and you know, Keith's telling his reflection about kind of having the gumption to finally approach you and how you guys originally started dating, right? And he tells the story about you rocking his dress shirt. So I have to ask you, Joanna, and most people who know you kind of know your personality and who you are and whatnot, but like at that young of an age, because you were 16, right?
Yeah.
16 years old, and you like what like kind of give us the play-by-play going through your head, and let me get this right. You guys had never really met before, like not really. And you put on his shirt.
No. We were working together still. Like we were working together.
But y'all never dated or anything.
But no, we were just talking like normal.
And I guess you can tell the story better than I can, but ultimately you're wearing his shirt.
And you know what's cool is that when I read his reflections, it was the first time that I heard a lot of things for the first time. I was like, how come I've never heard any of this before? So I actually had I've read this book, I don't know how many times. Okay, because every time somebody reads it, I go, well, let me read it again from their point of view. Let me read it again from their point of view. And I've read it over and over. And every time I read his reflections, I'm like, man, and I get chills and sometimes I cry and I get happy because I really never got to hear it until he wrote it.
Right.
Like he never really mentioned any of this stuff. So I was like, oh, really? So I had a reenactment of that little session because I was like, oh, really? You felt this way? Let's do this again. So I went and put on a shirt again. But yeah, at that age, I don't know. You know, I've always followed my intuition. And at that moment, I saw it hanging there and it said, put it on. I put it on. And the rest is history. I mean,
Just
what?
one look.
That's just, when I read that, I was like, wow, that's so Joanna. But then to think that you're only 16 and you were thinking on that level, like from like I don't know, just from a
Adult.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? That's something you see in a movie type shit. You know what I mean? Like when he read it, it was like seeing a movie. Yeah. And Keith, like I mean, what's going through your head when you see that shit happen? It's just like
it's on. Like it's on. Green light. Green light.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's on. Like I can't fuck this up.
right.
Not like I can't. Like it's not possible.
Right. There's like,
it's not possible.
You know, it couldn't be laid out better for you. You know what I mean? It's like a softball.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I've always felt like my life, I've always felt like the whole Truman Show thing, like somebody's watching,
right.
You know, so even when, you know, growing up as an only child, I always felt like there's people watching me or something was watching me. And then of course, I'm like growing up when it's Ghost is like the main movie and they're talking about someone's always watching. So somehow I've always thought like someone's always watching. So I've played my life as a movie. So it was kind of like, well, here we go. I would do this in a movie, so that let's do this.
You know, and you have to know like the behind the scenes story. And again, this is, I don't know, poke me or something. You know, behind the scenes story of, you know, like when she came to work there, you know, she interviewed immediately, right? Like I knew everybody there, like we all hung out, blah blah blah, and like it just spread like wildfire. Like this girl, she's fine. and you know, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. You know, like we'll see. Calm, cool, anyway, collected. so you know, like knowing that like basically like she's the type of girl that dudes are just gonna hit on because that's just how it is. You know, but she's not the type. She doesn't respond to that, right? And like I knew that from the get-go. You know what I mean? So it's like for me, it was very strategic in the sense that okay, yeah, she fine, but you know, that's not really my game either. Like I don't really have game. I'm my moon's in Pisces, man. Like I don't like that's just not my thing. Like I'm not.
We just talked.
Yeah, like we're real, and if we click, and if we don't, that's fine too, right? But yeah, so that behind the scenes story just let me know that all I needed was something, and that was it.
Your court, yeah.
Right. I just needed her to like pass me the ball, and she did it, and that was it.
Okay, so I'm gonna read a quick little part of that's like one sentence, one maybe two sentences. And Keith, I want you to elaborate on what you wrote here. Okay.
Oh shit.
This one stuck out to me. Right. 20 years later, I wish I had known then what I know now, that if you are going to love Joanna, you better have thick skin, and you better never, ever cross the Black Panther, because she will retaliate. And Joanna's retaliation is not like most people's. She is slow and methodical and executed in such a way that leaves you wondering if it was planned or if she just operates on this magical karmic type of frequency that has you reaping what you sowed through your own choices, leading to your own demise. That right there, like that's just,
I wrote that.
That is some beautiful motherfucking writing.
You got to read the whole thing from beginning to end. I'm telling you.
That's some beautiful motherfucking writing. And I marked that one down, and I wanted to read it, and I wanted to hear kind of your response to that, and kind of elaborate on what you meant there, bro.
Elaborate.
So I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a big Q, which stands with
the Panthers in the back
with a crown on it that stands for Queen. Okay.
Right.
You know, when we first met, she liked playing chess, and I played chess with my grandparents, but I had never played chess with a female before, so that was kind of sexy. But she knew she's smart, right? Like she knows what's up. So, and you probably gonna have to read that again because that was very loaded, and I'm gonna need some help. Like
I'll remind you. I got it.
Through that.
Right.
But you know, I'll give you an example. And again, poke me.
Okay.
You know, there's a part in the book, I don't know if I get into detail, where, you know, I had gone to see this girl, I believe she's referred to as
the Miami
one?
Miami.
Okay. I don't know. She's the Miami girl. I don't know what she's referred to. But anyway, so I had gone there, whatever, came back, and she was asking me questions, right? Like specific questions that she shouldn't know the answer to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she basically set me up, knowing she already knew what she knew, and she basically took me down a path to get, you know, to basically make me confess, right? Which was beautifully orchestrated. My mouth was on the floor. But that's an example of kind of the intelligence that I'm talking about? Now give me some of the other
It was
quote.
thick skin, and so you don't cross the Black Panther, and then you has you thinking whether it was done methodically, blah blah blah, or whether it was she's on some frequency where you end up reaping your own stuff from the karma,
Yeah, and so
basically.
like when I had my issues, you know, when I had my mess ups, if you will,
Right.
when I went elsewhere, you know, she forgave me, but there was always like, yeah, right. Like she never did, because that's just not, that wasn't like that like I broke the rule. Like if you've seen what's the show we're watching, Stranger Things,
Mhm.
right? Like they have a code. You don't break the code. In the movie,
Friends don't
the
lie.
friends don't lie. You have a code. Like you can't break the code, and you broke the code. And yes, I love you, and yes, I want to be with you, but there's
But I will hold this into my diary for when I need it.
yes, and there was a point in time to give you another like the evilness of her, but it's not
The
evil.
darkness.
It just is what it is.
The darkness.
Like when she told me about what happened, right? Her things that she did, right?
Right.
And like, bro, I'm talking about like kind of sobbing where snot and shits, like bubbles are coming out of your nose, and you just don't
Yes.
even care,
Right.
right? And she walked upstairs and left me there, right? And there's like I, you know what I mean, like the way we are, like there's always, she did that on purpose. Like there's always intent with her moves, and
Right.
and you have to know her to understand that. But like she's very
Methodical.
looking 10 steps ahead, like that chess
Right.
show. What's the chess show on Netflix? If you've seen that,
Yeah, the Queen's Gambit.
the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, she's very just process war oriented, right? So when that happened, I'm like, okay, all right. Like at the end of the day, I didn't realize it then, but you know, looking back on it, like that was her basically say, now we're even, bitch. Like you fucked up. That was your punishment, straight up. And tell me I'm wrong. But that, and she would never express it, but that's the energy. That was the energy of it. It's like you
Yeah.
broke the code. This is your repentance. Now we're good, right? You feel me?
I do, man. Just reading that, like the way you wrote it in that reflection at that specific time in the book, I was like, damn. And but what's crazy is like you see it play out. You see it play out just like you're talking about. And it's just like, wow.
Did you not see that like before reading it? Like did it surprise you, or?
Oh, there's some things that surprised me, Joanne.
Oh, I know. We're just gonna leave that for the readers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I know your personality. I know your energy. You're a Leo. All those different things, and I read your first book, so I got kind of ideas on how you operate per se. But to see it in this type of detail, with all the feelings and emotions attached, it's just a different beast, straight up.
Yeah, and too, like I wanted, let me say this real quick. So if you imagine, like when you see a big Black Panther, right, and it's being lovable and
Yeah.
you know, and you cuddly and shit, and they look so cute. And it's like, you know, if you could experience that, you know, the power in it is the power that the Panther has that they're not executing it, right? Like to me, that's the like, that's why it's so sexy, right?
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful, to me, example of her. You know, I mean, she's lovable, loyal, you know, cuddly, all those things. But
I'm
she
both.
can flip the script real
I'm
quick.
both, and I'm okay.
Right.
Like I've embraced both the dark and the light, and that's
She's
what it's about.
extreme on both ends,
Right.
and I'm the same way. You know, we're both that way.
We're finding balance,
which was most of our problems.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got a lot of things coming in here. Let's see here. Iron Shaman bought the book.
Thank you.
Yes, and he's got like 17 comments here. I'm trying to roll through them. Carol just ordered her physical copy.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
Candace Staples is online. She said, congratulations, you guys. I'm super excited and proud of the both of you on the new release of the new book. Can't wait to read it. And for anybody out there who has not purchased the book, the link is pinned at the top, on sale right now.
For $11.11, yes, for the paperback, and $9.99 for the ebook. You know, I wanted to let everybody know before I forget that there is a music playlist in the back. And there also is astrology content if you need help understanding astrology a little bit, maybe before you read it or maybe during or after, you know. But I thought it was really interesting based on those who did read it before it launched. So thank you to those who read it beforehand, including you, RL. But basically, the music playlist gives it a multi-dimensional type of feel. It's like watching a movie without music, and this is the movie with the music. Like
Mm.
you want to be able to read a chapter and then listen to the first song. You know, read the second chapter, listen to the second song, because then you can really feel, based on the song, everything that we went through during that chapter. Not to mention, we mentioned songs during each chapter. And so you get to kind of feel as you're listening to it on another dimension, you know, what we went through.
Yeah, and I think too, like, I mean, for the most part, we've all been lied to, we've all been cheated on, right? Like we've all experienced hardships, we've all had losses, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, our experience, you know, resonates those same feelings throughout the entire story, right? So those songs, I think, because just like the Top Gun movie, the new one, if you've seen it, like you can relate, because everything that we go through is relatable. Everything that we go through has probably happened to you, and it brings back your own emotions with that situation,
Yeah.
and it makes it relatable, and it sort of makes it healing, and it brings it up and makes you face it in some sort of way. And the music, I think, is like the key, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
like it unlocks that piece after you kind of, you know, go through it.
I know that you know, those of you that read it, like Carol and Michelle, you know, if you want to share what you thought about what it was like to listen to the songs with the chapters, please feel free to put it in the comments, since it's coming from your own, you know, perspective, so that RL can read it, because I think it's really important. And I know Carol in the beginning didn't listen to it at first that way. So when she went back and did, she was like, that made a huge difference. But, you know, better said from her than me.
For sure.
But that, I thought that was important to let everybody know to do that, because I don't think I shared that.
Yes, that's a great idea. Let's give something away. Let's go. Let's give
Yeah,
away
let's
Akasha
do that.
Flicks.
Akasha Flicks. Let's do this. Do you want to share what Akasha Flicks is for people?
Yeah,
that
for
don't know?
sure. Akasha Flicks is our streaming service that provides conscious content to help you become the best version of yourself. Joanna and Keith have a podcast called the Fifth House Podcast. It's a tongue twister. Fifth House Podcast, where they talk a lot about love and relationships. And Joanna also has her masterclass on syncretism, and Keith has his brand new show, Sweat for Life, where he talks about the health and fitness mindset. And in addition to a myriad of other content as well. So enjoy.
Awesome. Yes. Lots of amazing creators on there. The winner for that, Heather Miller.
All right, Heather.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yay, Heather.
Yes, you will be receiving an email with your free access
to Akasha Flicks. And then I wanted to read the introduction, if I could.
Yeah, of course.
Before we do one for the reading. But let me get out of here. Okay. Unless you had a question.
Oh, me? Oh, I got plenty of questions, but go ahead, do your thing, girl.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if I could fit it in after your question or before.
No, you're good.
Okay, so everybody ready? I figured everyone's here so we can read it. Oh, I don't need glasses. All right, introduction. All right, so this series is all about time. This is a 4-part series. This is the second book, just so everybody knows. This series is all about time and the moments we capture in a forever memory within each season. Time is funny. The definition itself is based on perception. Some say it's linear, that we're born, that we live, and then we die. And I would agree that this is one way to view it. It's chronological, it's conditioned, it has a timeline, therefore it's linear. But I would also add that we are multidimensional and that there are layers to the perspective of time, as there is with everything else in life. That we can be born, live fully, and die while still having the same beating heart. That instead of a straight line, it could be circular, cyclical, like a clock, always ticking, always going around and around. The long hand makes its circuit, bringing us both light and darkness, while the short hand is not too far behind, bringing us its corresponding energy, like the sun as it passes through each constellation. Spring manifestation showed us the cycle and the influences it made each month. Summer love is about how these energies influence our relationships, particularly my relationships, with reflections from Keith, of course. My intention is to share the many lessons I've learned throughout my journey in the hope that you can take something from it and know that you are not alone. We all tend to go through these many ups and downs, but rarely do we share the details in between. Here are almost 30 years of my life for you to read. Now, I don't know if I want to read the rest of the intro. So there's like another page and a half of the intro, but I'm going to leave that for those that want to get the book. So
beautiful. And the book is the link to buy the book is pinned at the top of the chat. So if you haven't purchased it yet, you need to purchase it. We got 20 people online watching right now. So
awesome. Yay.
Get that book. I promise you'll be happy you did, for sure. All right, so let's keep it moving. So you guys have 2 children.
Yes.
And I want to know, how do you guys feel about your kids reading this book?
Our daughter's reading it now.
You tell them.
Yeah, it's funny, man. She's very much into like fantasy stories, and I don't know what the proper genre is, but you know, she's into that, right? And so
she reads a lot.
Yeah, she reads 7 books a month, 8 books, I don't know. She reads a lot. And so she gets very into characters, very into the character development. She either likes or hates the characters, so she's very much into that piece of it, right? And she's only through the shitty part, which is all the shit that I did wrong, right? So she's looking at me, she's like, how could you do this? How could you do this? So weird. But she's at the same time, she's like, it's amazing that I can talk to the character, right? Like I can find out if I have a question, I can ask you, and then it just totally clears up, any confusion that I might have. So far so good. She's enjoying it, but she's only about halfway through. Okay. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, our kids have seen some shit, and some of that was on purpose, some of that was not. But we're very open with them in terms of stuff. I mean, that's just how we are and what we believe is the best way to be. But yeah, they're they know, and she's reading it, but she lived the last part, so it's not going to be anything new to her. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's good that she gets to see how far we've come, and that we haven't always been this way. It's like sometimes it's like, look, you better be glad we weren't the way we were before. Like, we're way better. And so I'm glad that she's reading it and getting to see the transformation.
That's what's up. All right, so Carol did drop a comment. She said that the way the book is written is very real and raw. It paints a picture like a movie in your head. So listening to the audio, you can see the entire chapter play out in your head. And honestly, it just shifted my emotions over the edge after certain chapters. Having known you both for nearly 15 years, I was able to read it with each of your voices, feeling deeply into your written words. The music just ripped my heart apart and moved me. It made me happy. It made me sad. It was an absolute game changer for me. Amazing.
Wow.
Okay.
Yay. I love listening
Thank
to
you,
all
Carol.
these comments and reviews and stuff.
See, that's one thing I haven't done. I need to listen to that damn playlist. That's on my list to do. Awesome.
Yes, and if anybody needs a link to the playlist, I mean, you can look up look up each song yourself, but I also have the link to the playlist. Yeah, I don't know if I could put it on. I should just put it on here, right? If anybody wants to just get it from the comment section.
Michelle says, I love the music playlist. Listening to each song after reading the chapter adds a magical element to their journey, as if you were there experiencing it with them. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Iron Shaman says, I look forward to reading the book in one day. Life is so full of love and abundance if we just allow it in. That's what's up. Truth Factory. Yes, sir. Factoids. All right, cool. Okay, so another element of the book that, to me sets it apart is, Joanna, your ability to integrate astrology into telling your story and into your life, and how it just intertwines so beautifully throughout, like is really, to me, what truly separates it. Where do you get the inspiration to do that? Like where does that come from? Like, you just get in a zone? I mean, what it's like just from for someone who writes and who's a writer and all those types of things, like it's very inspiring. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, so I use that as my framework, and then I work my way around it. It's kind of like building the house. You make sure the framework is a certain way, and then everything else, down to the furniture you pick is just, whatever on top. So knowing that this was going to be based on because Spring Manifestation was trying to help people understand astrology and see the influences, I was like, you know what? This influences us in relationships in so many different ways, so I was like, let's do this based on this relationship, our relationship, and the framework is going to be the 12 signs. So we're going to have 12 chapters, and we're going to have each one based on that sign. So let me find, not to mention the timeline, right? So I have a timeline of our relationship, but then piecing together everything that went with the qualities and characteristics of that sign, and making sure that I emphasized on it and that I brought it to the light so that we could see that it does in a way impact us. And then it just flowed. I just made sure, let me make sure each one has the sign, and let me make sure each one's talking about something that has to do with it. And it just naturally flowed that way.
Nice.
But that was the structure. So
it's beautiful. No, it's beautiful. I mean, the way you do it is amazing. And I'm sure it's going to happen in Mindfall and the ones that come after that as well.
Oh yeah.
And for me, this is a personal testimony. For some reason, in both books, the way you write your Scorpio chapters is different than every other chapter. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, is your moon in Scorpio?
No.
What's your moon sign? I'm sorry, not moon in Scorpio. You're okay. My bad. I thought it was.
No, my philosophy side is in Scorpio.
Okay. Because when you write Scorpio, like you like take us to a whole different world. Just the style of your writing. I don't know if you even noticed.
Well, it's deep. I mean, like Scorpio takes you to the deep waters, to the emotions that are deep. So what was Scorpio? I'm like, wait a second, what are we talking about?
Is it 8 or 9? Is it 8?
Scorpio was deep desires. Oh, deep desires.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, and just like in Spring Manifestation, it's like, wow.
It was temptation and something else. But yeah, deep desires. Well, that's what happens when you go,
everyone out there, when you read the book, and if anyone reads it again, pay attention to the Scorpio chapter. And then if you go back and if you haven't purchased Spring Manifestation, purchase it or read it again and read the Scorpio chapter. You know what I'm talking.
Okay, but what part of it was deep for you?
I mean, I can't remember it like off the top of my head as far as like what you're talking about in there, but it's the way you write it. And I made a note of it when I was reading it, because I remembered it and I even talked about it on the podcast I did with you about the Scorpio chapter that you did in Spring Manifestation. So it just clicked. It's like, man, there's something about when she writes during the Scorpio chapters that she gets in a whole different type of zone. If anyone else knows what I'm talking about.
Temptation and depth. Yeah.
Wow.
They're deep.
They're
deep.
You want to do another giveaway?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Share my screen. Let me see who else, because I know somebody else got on here. And I think I added them. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so the next one is for a free reading.
Nice.
Nice.
You never know. It's like right there on the edge.
Right there.
Amanda.
Darko. Good job, Amanda.
So close, Darko. Congrats, Amanda.
Awesome.
Yay.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good,
I'm gonna
good,
have
good
to come
stuff.
back and remember who's what, but
Oh, well, we got
rewind.
I got it recorded. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we're good. We're good. We're good. Mr. Goodnight.
Oh
It's an
yeah.
interesting character in this book. Not going to go too deep into Mr. Goodnight. Y'all gonna have to read to get the real good shit. But you talk about the catalyst. Like to me, when and actually, I'm gonna bring it up. I want to bring it up because I want to reference exactly what I'm talking about. So bear with me, y'all.
Does that give away some stuff though, or no?
I'm not gonna give anything away. I'm just going to.
Larry said, I haven't read the first book yet. Do you need to read the first book first? What do you think?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
No?
In fact, I'd say you could read this one before you read the second one and still be good.
This is kind of like Carol said, it was like a prelude because it's kind of like the
Yes.
backstory before the spring manifestation. Because what happened is in the last chapter of spring manifestation, chapter 24, I gave a summary of this entire book. So that's really the only thing.
Right,
you know.
right. Yeah. And, you know, being someone who's read both, obviously, I think if I read, and in fact, I probably will read Spring Manifestation again, I will see more tie-ins. But since I read Spring Manifestation over a year ago, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have too many things that like, oh shit, I remember she talked about this in Spring Manifestation. That didn't happen too many times for me.
Okay,
So I think this one stands completely on its own. And just like Spring Manifestation stands completely on its own. And no,
I mean,
I'm not.
they do go to like, it is a like what's going on, and there is a timeline for it all, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
But you're not gonna miss out on anything because I do go over some stuff to remind you if in case you hadn't seen not seen, read Spring
There it is again.
Manifestation.
Hint. Okay, I'm just
Oh,
gonna
this is
read
gonna be
this
hilarious.
this one, basically the definition. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. So most people aren't gonna
Okay.
know. No, Iron Shaman Darko didn't win. He came close, but he did not win. Okay, here we go. A catalyst is a false twin whom you meet that seems to share the same energetic blueprint as you. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further than that. But just to kind of give my personal experience when I read it, like you're caught, and I'm talking about the reader, you're caught in such like an emotional tornado in a way, right? Because I think Carol said this, you know, at the beginning, she's hating Keith. And then by the end, she's hating Joanna. And then all this stuff's happening. So emotionally, you're just all over the place. And when you dropped the catalyst, like it was like one of those moments of clarity for the reader. They're like, holy shit. Like you kind of did this in Spring Manifestation too. And I'll allude to that in just a second. But like when you dropped the catalyst, it was like just a light shot for me. It might be different for other people, but it just put everything into perspective. And then that's, in a movie sense, like that's kind of like the, I know I keep doing that, right? We keep doing that. Kind of like that moment where, you know, like, oh shit, like something good's about to happen. Like that's kind of how I felt, like the hero's journey per se. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So I don't know if that's not necessarily a question. It's more of a statement. But you had that there, and you did it in Spring Manifestation in the second part. Like the first part was kind of like your journey. It was very, I don't want to say like reality showish, but more like this is what's going on in my life. And then the second half of it was like, all right, I'm gonna drop knowledge on you. And I remember telling you that last year, you know. And in this, that's kind of how I felt with this. It's like we're watching this love story, we're hearing these reflections from Keith, and we're going through this tornado of emotions, and then you hit us with the catalyst. And it's like, oh shit, game changer. That was my experience. All y'all out there, you have to buy the damn book to know what I'm talking about.
Carol said it's like a wave washes over you, then everything just starts to unfold.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Great way to put it. Keith, Mr. Reflections.
Yes, sir.
Have you and I don't think you've ever written a book before. Have you ever written anything to this capacity before?
No.
So
Maybe.
how was that
Uh,
process for you?
I mean, maybe like in college,
Yeah,
when you do your last paper or whatever.
yeah.
But no, absolutely not.
So how was that process for you?
I mean, it was beautiful and awful all wrapped in one. Um, because like I kicked the can down the road as far as I could because I didn't want to I didn't want to participate. I mean, I did, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Because I knew intuitively what was going to unfold. It meant I had to revisit everything.
Right.
Um, and of course, it got harder after the first couple of chapters because and then I'm dealing with my own shit. But it was a struggle throughout. But it was interesting because like as I kicked the can, wrote some, and then I felt like myself like open up, if you will, as I kind of got into the later chapters, in terms of just forgiving myself and remembering and processing and really forgetting, how far we've come and how far I've come, and forgetting that I once like don't like never forget why you had to go through this, right? And that reminded me very much so like in depth to my soul, um, who I was and how I was and what transpired and all the choices that I made to get us to this point. And just taking responsibility for that. It was rough, man.
I can imagine. Like I'm yeah, well, I think I told you guys this yesterday. I'm just thinking like, man, if I ever had to do some shit like this, like I don't know how I could do it. But I mean,
I
you
had to
said it.
put deadlines. I had to put deadlines because he was like, I'll catch up. I'll do 2 in the morning. And then it would be like the next day. And I'm like, you're gonna do 3 tomorrow? And then he's like, I'll make sure it's all there. I'm like, so you're gonna get 4 all in one time? But it got to the point where he just like at the end, he was like, I'm not gonna let you see till I'm done. And I had to wait for like 3 of the reflections before I could get to the end. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I want to know.
Yeah, and I'm interested. I don't know if you noticed, since you have a sharp eye, if you noticed, like, if you thought my writing got better as we went in terms of maybe, I don't know, more emotional or whatever. Because I tried as much as I could to write how I was in that moment, in that time frame. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I tried to take myself back and write as if I was that person,
Mm-hmm.
which was
Mhm.
hard because I'm not that person, right? But again, it was healing because it brought shit up, and it just reminded me so much that this was you. There's still that guy in you, and you have to be okay with that because that's part of the darkness, right?
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Like you can't hide from it. It's there. It always will be there, and it's okay.
You gotta face it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh yeah, I definitely think your writing got better, a lot more in depth, and you could feel like the energetic momentum go through each chapter as it flowed like perfectly with what was happening at the time. It's like Joanna's laying out the groundwork and you're just coming in afterwards and just adding fertilizer and shit. You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, you got a beautiful lawn. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it was like.
Yeah.
And it was just the dynamic. The dynamic of the reflections was just perfect. I mean, it just really was. You're emotionally, you could feel like when you write and even when you speak, Keith, like you can feel the emotion in what you're saying. Joanna, you're just like a marvel. You're just like this incredibly intelligent. Like you're such a good writer to Joanna that like you can add the emotion and dress it up in a certain way to it's like this amazing painting. You know what I mean?
I
And Keith,
Joannify it.
yeah, and then Keith is just like this abstract, emotional painting. You just look at it, you're like, I don't know what it is, but I fucking feel it. You know what I mean? That type of artist. So
Yeah.
the blend is beautiful. So yeah, I think it was written beautifully.
The lessons I wrote at the end, but they were lessons that we had both learned. So
Yeah, and they correlated amazingly.
yeah.
Joanna, how did you
Yes.
feel after reading Keith's reflections? Like,
I cried. I mean, I cried because again, I hadn't heard them before. I also was um like, oh, okay, he's piecing it together with the book and with the also with the signs, like I'm like, look, this is the sign for this month. I mean, not this month, for this chapter, to make sure that it still was written in a way where that was still in there, where you could still feel Taurus, where you could still feel Gemini, those qualities of it. So when I saw that, I was like, number one, impressed. Number two, like I kept telling him, no, these are really good. No, these are really good.
No, that's hilarious. You
At
just
the
said
end,
that.
I said that.
At the end, yeah.
Yes.
At the end, like I would write a chapter, come back like, "We good?" She's like, "Yeah, it's good, it's great." Okay, thanks. I'm like, "That's all you got to say?" She's like, "Yeah, no, good." But it was very like limited. As the book started to get into the later chapters,
Yeah.
like it was obvious. Like she would get emotional, or she would like come tell me, and I'm like, "See, this is what I was looking for earlier," and
Yeah.
obviously I wasn't bringing it early on, but that of course I wasn't bringing it because I was that guy, right? Now I'm the other guy.
Yeah.
But it was cool for me to like see that unfold in the later chapters, because I mean, she like got emotional, and it was cool. It was rewarding, and it was, I don't know, it was everything. It was like a cocktail, an emotional cocktail.
Mhm.
Awesome.
And no, I'm gonna give shout outs to you. Sorry, RL, but thank you, because I want everybody to know that when he read Spring Manifestation, he said, I loved it, but I really want to hear what Keith had to say. And I'm like, okay. So when I started writing Summer Love, I said, you want to hear what Keith's got to say? Well, then Keith, write a reflection, And so thank you, because that's what sparked this process. I mean, the ripple effects are amazing.
That's awesome.
Keep going.
Hey, highly appreciative. And I mean, if that's kind of how this thing works, I would like to see a sequel. I want some more. I want some more Summer Love, Summer Love Part 2 or something, Thin line between Summer Love and Hate or some shit. I don't know.
Oh my God,
something
hilarious.
Like we got any more giveaways? Want to do that?
Yeah, we have the final one. I was just reading what Christine had said, but they're coming in fast. I can't read it. What's interesting is not only you writing about the past, but what you went through, discovered as you went through the process, the in-between.
The in-between, that's like a thing now.
Yeah, and the fact that you both are so open and sharing all. When should we expect Mindfall to release? Good question, Carol. Okay, I am so excited about Mindfall because it's getting into my mind. Like you already know, I have layers to me, but this is really getting into many layers. And really it's like a psychological type of book where you really have to analyze and like piece it together, and it's like a big like whoa. And so I'm really like, once this settles, I'm really going to be into writing that and getting it done by next fall. So that would be not this fall, but the fall of 2023, fall equinox. So it would be like right on the fall equinox.
Nice. Keith, what about you, man? You gonna write a book one day?
No, sir. If I write a book, it will be in conjunction with her.
Okay.
That desire has not sparked in me.
I don't think he realizes how really good he is.
Yeah.
I'm open to it, but it's not currently a desire for me.
Okay. Yeah, let it come organically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Put a date on it. Yes, Mel.
All right.
So let me do the giveaway. So the last giveaway is for the, did I do the reading one already?
Yep.
Yeah, that was for Amanda. So the last one is for
that's for Darko.
Summer Love.
We all know Darko.
So a signed copy and also a 30-minute consult with Keith and I.
Nice. It's a big one.
Yes. So let me share screen. Ready. Whoa.
Nice.
Carol, all right.
Okay then. Congrats.
Shout out Carol Reese in the house.
Nice. Hilarious.
Very fitting.
That's
Let
awesome.
me stop the share. There we go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody jumping on. If you guys have any last questions for the authors in the house, let us
All
know,
right.
Joanna and Keith Crowder. I'll ask you guys this last question. What's the message or legacy you want to leave with this specific book? And you guys can answer individually.
They said the video stopped for a moment, but it's fine. We'll look at that. The legacy behind it. What do you think?
I mean, it's that it's to motivate anybody else going through this. You know, like I said, I mean, I feel like if you know, Akasha Flicks and the QE Academy had been around 10, 15 years ago, you know, maybe things, you know, this process would have happened sooner. Who knows? Whatever. You know, can never, you don't really know, right? But I know that when we were going through it, I mean, we went to so many counselors, like, you know, tried to do the right thing, you know, whatever, and none of it worked. And it didn't work because like we were communicating on a different level, right? And I mean that energetically because of whatever we have going on. But you know, like we were communicating on a different level, and none of it, like when if we had understood astrology, if we had understood how all these things kind of play off each other, it would have made so much more sense, and it would have been so much less confusing, right? So there's a tool there. Number one. Number two, again, it's like if we can do it, you know, anybody can do it. So it's about being an inspiration. I mean, yeah, we've been through some shit, rah rah, but if nobody else learns from it, you know, that's the passion that we have, is helping people get through the same thing we went through,
That
and just
perseverance.
the perseverance and courage that you know you can do it too, right? I mean, that's what it's
perseverance.
all about for me.
And just, you know, like, don't quit. Like the whole not quitting. I mean, yes, how many times did I say when is enough enough? And I said that many times, and looking back at it, I'm like, man, like I just didn't quit. But I mean, of course, there's times where you do quit, but then you get back up again. So it's really about, a lot of times people quit before hitting that breakthrough. And then they think that they're going to make it work with somebody else, and that the problems won't be there. But at the end of the day, whatever problems are there are self-inflicted, self-sabotage, just we do it to ourselves. And if we don't heal from that, and we think that it's just going to, kind of like my whole thing about, hey, we move, new us, new home, new us, right? But no, because it's still us and we're still doing this. So regardless of if you're going to try with somebody else, like kind of what happened with us is we just kept trying with each other. And that's what made the difference. So I think it's a lot about persevering and getting back up. Even if it's not with that person, it's about getting up for yourself. It's about really just continuing to level up, and just, if you're tired of the bullshit of feeling like shit, like change it, you know. And it's about how to flip it and how to change it, and you know, how to flow with these energies. So that's a long answer.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to, if I may, you know, too, like there's a secondary reason for me too, and it's to help other men with, like, nobody, you know, like I've thought long and hard about how I would be judged by other dudes, you know, and at the end of the day, like we all are both, you know, we all have feminine and masculine, right?
Mhm.
And we need to embrace that in a way that hasn't been embraced ever at the last however many years, right? That needs to be that relationship needs to be renewed, and I think that, you know, helping men understand that they can express themselves and they can be open and they can cry and they have emotions and the shit is okay, and that, you know, you're not, it doesn't disempower you, right? In fact, it empowers you. And you know, I have my own personal stories about, you know, how I was able to do that, but I'm not I'm not like, and I don't say this jokingly, but I'm not a punk, man. You know what I mean? Like Joanna will stand up and let you know all day, every day, but that process, it was ingrained. I mean, you talk about it all the time, man. Like it was, what's the word that you use? It was indoctrinated into me, right? And I believed it, and you know, I had to unlearn that behavior, and I was able to do it, and anybody else can. But I think there's a shift that needs to happen in the masculine energy, and I think this is for me, the hope is that, you know, again, any other man going through this, that he can have the strength to get through it, you know, with grace.
Wow, beautifully said by both you guys. Keith, on what you just said, I will, the last thing that I will say is that there is such a void with men, even reading books like this, you know, but the way this one is laid out and what it deals with, it's the perfect bridge to help close that gap for this chauvinistic, you know, society that has just been run, you know, has been controlled by patriarchy, and men have to be a certain way, and all the attachments that come along with having a certain level of masculinity and all that bullshit. This is the perfect book to bridge that gap, because you put yourself out there, bro, and that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
as a man myself, who's, you know, I've been divorced, I've been in certain relationships and whatnot, and to see y'all's love conquer all of that shit, all the external factors that you guys realize truthfully didn't matter. And once you guys realize that, you guys can sit there where you are today and be on that platform and speak from a pedestal that not many people can. And that's why this book is so magical. So link is pinned to the top. If you haven't bought it yet, buy that motherfucker now. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And then write a review on Amazon. I gotta write a review. My review's
Yes.
coming. I need the energy, and I haven't had the energy in the past 48 hours. But when I get the energy, I'm gonna
And
write
you still need to listen to the music too.
yeah, that'll happen. I'll
So when that happens, then you can write it. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. But
Yeah, too, and I want to say thank you to everybody watching. I mean, I don't know
Yes.
what time it is, but to give this amount of your time and
Yes,
energy
thank
back to
you.
us we're incredibly grateful. So you know, thank you for everybody that watched super much.
And please feel free to message me with your thoughts or when you're reading them. I know I've had people that highlight or circle a certain part or screenshot it and send it to me, and they're like, I love this. Like, I really love the feedback. I do this because I want to know that it is helping somebody. So even if one sentence helps, my door is always open. Please share that with me, because it inspires me and helps me continue with this process of writing. So I love that.
awesome. Yes. Christine Morrison just bought the book. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you,
beautiful.
Christine.
All right. Any final
All right.
words?
Thank you
We're
so
good?
much.
We're done? All right. We're
I
good.
think you were great. I think thank you so much for
Thank you to you, man,
you know,
for real.
hosting
Oh,
this.
yeah. It's an
You know,
honor.
brought to you by Akasha Flicks, and you know, hopefully we can start getting a lot of different reviews and you know, seeing where this goes. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, everybody. We are out.
Peace.